Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Peter. This is the Esoteric Order of Gamers, and of course I'm covering some Armoured Clash. Now, as you already know, I'm sure, I'm a big fan of Armoured Clash and of course DystopianWars, the other game by Warcradle. They're both set in the dystopian age, but Armoured Clash is epic scale, and they have these fantastic battle group starter sets, so you can basically get yourself a full army in a set like this, plus all the stuff that you need to start playing. They're very cool and they're packed with miniatures. Look at all the stuff in this one. Not only is there heaps of plastic, you get some extra terrain as well. You get a big resin model. There's usually one big feature resin model there, and your rulebook and all the other bits and bobs. I'll show you what you get in the box in a moment. First, let me tell you that they send me this stuff for free so I can show it to you. That doesn't influence my opinion, and I don't charge for these videos. So let's get started on the Alliance Faction Battle Group starter set for Armoured Clash. Well, what I've done and what I usually do is build one of each unit so I can show you what they look like when they're built. But you do get a lot of sprues in here. They're all in this box. Heaps of stuff in here. And as I said, you get everything on the back of the box. Now, I've got some extras here as well. We have the Malinois interdictor. Now, first I have to apologise up front for all my pronunciation in this video, because this is the Latin Alliance. So my pronunciation is going to be atrocious. So we'll start with the Malinois interdictor. I don't know, this is the plain. So this is purchased separately. And also you can buy branded sets of the Command and Conquest decks. So this is one Command and Conquest deck. Each player will need one. You get one in the starter set, but these new ones are better, and the reason is not only are they branded with the logo of your favourite faction, in this case the Alliance, but also all the cards are up the same way. In the original deck you had to flip, and they've changed that, which is great, so everything is up the same way on the card. So really cool to get this for your favourite army. So let's look at the basics first for what you get. Of course, you get the rulebook. This rulebook is very well written and designed, and really Warcradle have totally lifted the bar on their rulebooks. They're really nice that now they have lots of little references on the page corners like that, which take you to descriptions of the rules mentioned on the particular page. They're really nicely laid out. Lots of background stuff and material in the back as well. Very, very cool. You also get plenty of dice, 24 dice in fact. It's your special Armoured Clash dice. You get a nice dystopian age map, which is very impressive. You get 4 sprues of terrain. You can get these in a separate set if you want, but it gives you a great starter amount of terrain to use. And there's 2 different sprues like that, and you can make modular epic scale buildings from that. And because I haven't showed them to you for a while, here are some examples of what they look like when they're finished. So because it's modular, you can make it up in all different ways. Here's one. You can see it's been built this way. It's all made up of these little cubes basically. But very nice epic scale terrain. Paints up really nicely. You can use this for any epic scale tabletop miniatures war game, so really great terrain, love it. You also get a sprue of templates and objective markers and things like that. There's a little turn marker with a dial on it, that's cool. And also 2 sheets of counters that you'll need for the game. So, you know, everything you need for one player to get started. Really, it's enough for 2 players, except you need another deck. So I love the way this is set up. You know, you say to a friend, okay, let's play Armoured Clash. You buy one of these each. It's a nice project, putting it all together and painting it, and you're ready to play with a good size army. And then you'll already be itching to get extra sets. And they have extra small sets which can add more to the infantry side of your army or to the armoured side of your army. So you can build up your army in whichever way you want. So you're probably wondering, well, what are the Alliance all about? They're France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, the so-called Latin countries of Western Europe. They're the youngest of the great powers, born out of the flames of the death of Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, and run now by Bonaparte's nephew, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, who apparently is a bit of a genius and united Western Europe in this alternative universe. He also helped found the Covenant of the Enlightened, which is another one of the factions. So he's a very scientific kind of guy. Also, however, we have Isabella, the Queen of Spain, who is starting to increase in power. And we've also got the socialist unity of South America. Over in South America has allowed bases from the Latin Alliance. And while the Latin Alliance sort of pretends that it's on the side of communism, it's kind of sucking up to South America so it can get bases in there. But of course, its plans are completely for conquest. The Alliance is young and vital, confident and arrogant, and they have some very nice models. So let's check them out. So these guys are light infantry. They are the Alpini Rangers, or Alpini Rangers, I'm not sure, but Rangers from the Alps, basically. They're light infantry. They're also pathfinders, and they're identified by a little black raven feather in their caps, which is part of their rite of passage, is to capture a raven, get the feather, and then let the raven go, which is nice. So they're nice light infantry figures. The mainstay of the army are the French Legionnaires, and they are elite shock troops, they're elite military corps. They're often deployed by drop capsules, which I'll show you in a moment, and they wield heat rifles, solar-powered rifles, which are called helio rifles. And this also has an example of the little priest figures, and you can scatter those through your infantry stands, because this is kind of a pretty much a Catholic force, so you've got the Pope involved and all that kind of thing. So the priests show up and you can put those on your bases as you see fit. This one has also got, as you can see, an officer flag. Very, very nice infantry figures. Here's another French Foreign Legion unit. This one's just a standard one. I haven't got any priests or banners on this one. This is another light infantry figure, the Ordenza Militia. They're the standard defence forces, so your bog standard guys who basically are put together to protect towns and villages and things like that. They're mainly Portuguese. These are Becerrillo war dogs, or Beccarillo war dogs, and these are basically Spanish dogs. Now these go back to using actual dogs in Spanish exploration and attack forces, but they've been replaced now by mechanical dogs, because they decided it wasn't very good to have real dogs on the battlefield, which is nice of them, because they're all killing each other horribly. So these are mechanical dogs, and these are designated as light cavalry. Right, it's getting tricky now. Bersaglieri, I think, Outriders. And these kind of look like the guys in Star Wars, don't they? On those sort of, I forget what they're called, but those speeders or whatever they are. They're kind of like speeders. Very, very cool. There's a light cavalry. They're from the League of Italian States. And it's all about speed and firepower for these guys. They move 10 inches on the battlefield. This weird looking thing is a Destreza Blade Strider. And these were created by an expert with the blade who had an accident and decided to use olive picking harness machinery to build himself this kind of harness thing. So they've got blades built in. They have a shroud generator, so the reality around them is a bit kind of wavy, so it's hard to hit them. And they've got this, they're kind of mantis-like with these retractable steel blades. Very strange figure, aren't they? There's two poses of this one, so they're weird-looking things. There's a couple of variations of these small armoured vehicles. They're heavy cavalry, but they're just two crew small tanks. This one's called a charrette, and it's got a heat lancet, which is very good at short range. And this variation is called a heliquin, and it's got a pair of 75mm cannons, which are much more long-range ones and also good for aerial targets. Now we've got a few variations of heavy armour vehicles. This one is called a Corregedor heavy transport. It's pretty much from Portugal mostly, so these are all Portuguese troops. An open top troop bay makes it a mobile weapons platform basically. It's also got a turret mounted heat lancet as well. But you've got these 3 rows of infantry packed into the back there. So a little bit of painting to do, but I wouldn't worry about the detail too much because they're just kind of packed in there. But nice heavy tank. This variation is a Navarre artillery tank. It's got a 200mm self-propelled howitzer. on the back there. Very nice. Also a pair of flamethrowers and a 75mm cannon turret. Wow, nasty bit of kit. And it looks great. There's another variation there that you can build with that chassis, and that's this Avignon mobile chapel, which is, as you can see, it's got a big cross in it, and it's got a priest in the back, and there's loudspeakers in the cross, and it just basically sends out religious messages to exhort the troops. It also acts as a private chapel for officers. So there you go, unusual variation. Then we have these weird looking drones. Look at these, aren't they bizarre? These are like dirigibles. They're aerial rotorcrafts, and they've got repeater cannons, 75mm repeater cannons. And as you can see, these are the rotors. Weird looking things. And there's a manned variation of those called the Globonauta snipers. And these little snipers, not only are they operating rifles with explosive rounds, but they've got to be very dexterous because they have to operate the dirigibles with pedals and things like that. So yeah, very skilled job. Now this is super cool. It's a French drop capsule, and they're usually packed with about 16 Legionnaires, get dropped and parachuted into the battlefield where they act as heavy fortifications. There's a variation on this too, which has basically got just different doors here, which is a fire base. So it's deployed to secure strategic locations with a small crew of gunners operating rocket batteries. It's very similar to this. And the other variation, the drop firebase, also uses speakers to project infrasound and basically disturb the enemy troops. Very nice. Now we get into the resin, and check out this big monster. So there's two variations of this. You can either attach that or not attach it. If that's popped on the top and this front bit here is in there, you have the Ghent Land Fortress. Just a behemoth. This is a commander vehicle, of course, and this has got 105mm cannon turrets, it's got rockets, it's got machine guns, it can carry 64 troops. It's a nasty bit of kit. So let's just compare that to a troop. There they are. Look at this, you know, wouldn't want to be run over by that, would you? Fantastic. Now the variation on that is to take this off, and I will magnetize this later, I just haven't done it yet, and you can pop in this huge soul cannon, if I can get it in there. There we go. And yep, huge cannon at the front, and this is basically, you know, a castle-sized generator to power this huge heat gun. There's just a few engineers in there taking care of it. It's not an engine. It's not a command vehicle. It's just a nasty thing, but it's still got all these guns and everything on the outside as well. So yeah, nasty. I'll just show you this aircraft now. As I said, this isn't in the battle group set. This is purchased separately. This is a long-range strike aircraft built for range and endurance. Another nice resin aircraft figure. It's got light machine guns and general purpose bombs and all that kind of thing. And of course this comes with a flight stand. So there you go, that's all the units in this Alliance Battle Group set. As I said, it's the French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, the Latin Alliance. I didn't mention the numbers you get of each unit, but you can see from the back there roughly how much you get of each unit. A couple of drop ships, your big resin model, and they're your small tanks, your large tanks. These are your speeders and the various infantry and cavalry, a bunch of blade striders there, and the dirigibles. Now I really plan to do more Warcradle stuff on this channel. It doesn't get the big views of the big boys, but I just think they make great models and great games, and more people should be playing them. Not only that, there's exciting news. I mentioned before that they're going to get into Wild West Exodus, which will be the normal scale, like 32mm scale game set in the dystopian age, which is great. The brand new news is that they're also working now on Firestorm Armada, which is another one of the Spartan Games properties that Warcradle bought up years and years ago when Sparta went under. And Firestorm Armada is a spaceship game, space combat game, and it's going to be fantastic to see Warcradle get behind that one and start releasing spaceship models. We're going to see stuff from them outside of the dystopian age. So how cool is that? They do some great stuff. I really recommend you check these out and at least have a look at the rules on my website and read over those rules and see what you think. And I think you'll find them excellent rules, and not only are the models beautiful, but they release them every single month. So the range is really wide and really, really nice. And there we go, another great army starter set from Warcradle for Armoured Clash. It's fantastic, the amount of releases that Warcradle does for Armoured Clash, and you know, you don't have to wait forever for your favourite army. They're churning them out really quickly, and you can just grab one of these, get playing, and then if you want to make your army larger, you can buy those extra sets, or even get another battle group set, you know, wow. And play games with as large as armies as you and your opponent can get together. It's very cool. I know I've been promising it over and over again, but I will get that battle report to you for this game so you can see it in action. Had a lot of stuff going on in my life at the moment, which I won't go into, but it's been very complicated, so I'm really trying to find the time to film that battle report for you. It will happen for sure. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I will see you next time, and good gaming, everybody. Bye for now.